Good morning and welcome to today's session of Moments with Clara. Today we'll resume talking about complicated grief, and this particular topic of complicated grief is when a child dies by a drug overdose. I had a mother the other morning contact me and she said, "My son overdosed on drugs, but I'm ashamed to talk about it." And that struck a real chord with me. And I got talking with her and asked her, what it was that she was ashamed of, why she was ashamed to talk about this. And she came back with the comment. She said, when parents talk about their children, it's usually all of the positive things that they do. They're a star basketball player, or they're great. They excel in writing. They excel in another sport, or it's you talk about all of their accomplishments. And she said, we tend to, as parents, to not talk about their problems. And I agreed, that's true. And she went on to say, to have a child that has been, dealing with drugs and taking drugs, and she said, worse yet, that we don't understand this as parents, and we've tried so hard to protect our child. We've tried to protect our child's image, and on she went. I began to understand more completely. This is a very complicated grief, a very emotional trauma, as well as the physical trauma of losing your child. So we're going to take a couple days to talk about this, why there is such a stigma associated with a child dying by a drug overdose, what we can do about this, how do we overcome this stigma, and what kind of help is available for parents who are grieving the loss of their child by drug overdose. I have not had personal experience with a child dying by an overdose. However, I did have a mother who was very involved with alcohol addiction as well as drug addiction, and she died at a very early age, at 58 years of age, and she had a long, drawn-out history of abuse. It began when she was age 13, actually. That's when she began with alcohol. And this addiction continued all through her life, and it affected every area of her life and of my life, actually. Excuse me. When she died, she was very aware of what was happening. She knew, that she had this addiction. She knew that she had tried numerous times to overcome it, but she couldn't. And until we can understand more about addiction, there will be a stigma with it, and there will be a sort of an embarrassment with this, but we need to overcome that because there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Addiction is real. It's a problem. It's I believe, a physical as well as a mental issue, and it affects millions upon millions upon millions of young people and older people, actually. And it's time we break open this stigma, that we shed all the embarrassment and shed any inhibitions we had with talking about it. Break this open and let's talk. That's the only way we're going to get the help for us as grieving parents, as well as for those children who are suffering through this addiction. So I ask that you stick with me with the next 2 moments with Clara. This is the topic we're going to be talking about, and we will be talking very openly about addiction, about children who have died by addiction, what the parents are going through, and how you can get the help that you need. For today, we just are introducing this topic, and I hope that we will be, the words that are shared with you, I hope will be an encouragement to you. I don't want anybody feeling embarrassed or ashamed or afraid to say that my child died due to an overdose of drugs. I think sometimes we don't want to say this because we are a bit embarrassed or we're afraid of how other people will react. No bad reactions here from me. Believe me, I understand it. I think there are thousands upon thousands of parents who are struggling with this, and we need to get some kind of better help for those grieving the loss of their child by addiction. So we will be talking about that tomorrow and the following day. Stick with me for today. I hope that you have a softer day in your grief. The sun is shining here where I am in Pennsylvania, which is a rare, very rare commodity. We don't often get a full day of sunshine. I'm hoping that we will not have rain clouds move in towards afternoon. I intend to get outside and enjoy some of the sunshine. I hope you will too. And I will be back tomorrow with another Moment with Clara.